Hey, what's up guys? It's me Travis and I'm back today with a new video, and right here sitting in front of you guys is the new GoPro Fluid Pro AI Gimbal. So this gimbal has multiple functions. I did an unboxing video. I didn't really explain to you guys how this gimbal actually works, but I am here to now explain how the gimbal actually works. So a lot of people has been wondering, how does this gimbal work, right? What's the functions? What's the buttons? What does this mean? How to calibrate it? That's a very important question on this gimbal. What I noticed about all gimbals or gimbals that I used in the past, you have to have some kind of calibration between the gimbal and the device that you choose to put on top of the gimbal, because it could be outweighted for the gimbal to operate. So if the device is too heavy and it's not calibrated the right way, then the device will show an error mode. And that's what this GoPro gimbal actually does. It warns me to let me know, hey, this gimbal is not weighted right. So let's show you at the front, right? So at the front, we have like a button right here. If you push this to the left, the gimbal will go left. If you push it to the right, it'll go right. If you push it up, the gimbal will actually face downward. If you pull it up, the gimbal will actually put your device upward. Now, if you go to the right side of it, you'll see a T and you also will see a W. This button, if you push it up, the gimbal will actually make your camera on your device, either your GoPro or your cell phone, zoom in. And if you push it down, it'll make your camera or your GoPro zoom out. So basically, if you press the mode button, the gimbal will actually change modes. Now, if we turn the gimbal to the left, on the side, we have a wheel dial, right? So this is actually a good thing because this one brightens the light and this one dims the light. Now, you probably was wondering, what light are you talking about, Trav? So I'm glad you asked, right? So this gimbal comes with a bright light. Yes, this light is actually bright. If you're outside filming in the dark, you'll have some lights that people can actually see you when you actually recording. And on the bottom of it, right here, is a little camera. So that's the tracker. So if you actually want to turn a tracker on, this gimbal will track your movement from left to right and also stay in focus so that you will never miss that perfect shot. Now, on the top of it, you can actually turn it on or you could turn it off. That's a good function because sometimes people don't like the light, or sometimes people just want to turn off the tracker and just want to just record regularly, which is okay. It's okay. Now, let's get back to the actual gimbal. So we actually on the side with the USB-C power port where you can actually charge this gimbal. So you can use any USB-C that you have laying around your house. You don't actually have to use the one that comes out the box. And then on the bottom of it is the power button. Now on the back of it, you have two different things. This is to lock the gimbal in place. Right now it's locked. So this is actually locked, so the gimbal will actually not move. But if I push this down, the gimbal will move. So that's a good function. That's a good thing that this gimbal has, that you could lock it. So when you actually put your device on there, the gimbal will not move. So it's easier to actually calibrate it while it's locked before you actually turn on the gimbal. And then, you know, it's a little bit harder because now you're fighting against the machine, plus you're fighting against getting your device on. And plus you might not know if it's calibrated or not, and the gimbal might even show an error mode. Now on the bottom, there's a trigger button. So this trigger button has many features. So this mounting piece is for the GoPro. As I have my GoPro Hero 13 Black here, I'm gonna actually show you guys how to actually, you know, mount the GoPro on this one. It's very easy. You take out the key. Underneath the GoPro, you have flaps. You just flap that up. Just pull it up. And then you'll place the GoPro on top of this, right? Make sure the flaps actually fits in and not one flap is out. So right now the GoPro is not secured, right? So basically we're gonna put the key back in, make sure that the GoPro is firm on this. So you're gonna screw that in until you can't screw anymore. And then this is how the actual GoPro is supposed to actually look. So, okay guys, so we got our GoPro on top of the mount. So underneath it, you can use a quarter to move this, or you can just flip this flap right here. It has a mount for it. So basically we have like a little ring that we can actually like twist a little bit to like actually move our GoPro a little bit. Slide it back and forth. And then once we have our destination, we just twist it back and make sure we flap that back down. This gimbal is supposed to actually stabilize your videos. You guys want to know how to get this one on to here, right? So it's very easy, very simple, very easy. All you have to do, so you see this lever right here, you just pull that up, one just slides up like that. That's how you actually take this mount off and put this mount on. So the same way that you actually slid this one off is that you'll slide that one in. Make sure you slide it in the right way, because sometimes if you're not sliding it in the right way, then it won't go. So do not force it. It has this little arrow on top of it. It shows you which way it's supposed to actually go. You got to slide in like that. This mounting piece, easier to mount. You know why I say that is because you can actually move it before you actually lock it in, so that you can see exactly where you want your GoPro to be. And then once you find that spot to actually lock it in, then you'll push this button back right here, and then it'll lock it. That's how the GoPro actually looks. Now, we're going to actually get this baby powered on, because that's what you guys are actually waiting for. So powering this baby on, what I noticed is that if you just press the button one time, it's going to only show you how much power is on your gimbal. But if you press and hold and let go, the gimbal will shut off. Let's press and hold. And I'll show the GoPro. There we go. The gimbal is actually on. So right now it's locked. So it's telling us on the front that it's locked. So what we do, don't panic. Go to the back, click that down, and then we unlock this gimbal. So just make sure that this bottom part is not locked right there. Even though you unlocked it right here, basically, if this is stuck right here, then basically it will not move. It will still say locked, right? Yeah, so we turned that on again, and this is how your gimbal will actually be. If you go to the back of it, then basically you double tap that, and it'll actually get your gimbal to focus somewhere else. It's going a little bit crazy right now. This is what I was talking about before, about the error mode. Don't panic. That means that your gimbal is not fully calibrated. You have to calibrate your gimbal with your camera on top, because if you don't, you're going to see that error message, and then eventually it's going to turn off. So, okay, so we're going to learn how to calibrate this baby right here, so that we can get our GoPro to function well along with the gimbal. Right, so the way to calibrate this is easy. So right here on the side of it, there's another switch that you can pull back. As you can tell, when I showed you guys the gimbal before, it has numbers at the bottom where you can actually calibrate this to move it so that the weight will be even with the GoPro and the gimbal put together. What we're going to do, we're going to actually turn this back around, flip that up, right? And then we're going to actually just push it. And we're going to actually just push it like that, about 4. And then we're going to just switch back and just lock it. So now the GoPro should be even and calibrated correctly when we turn it on. So your GoPro will not actually be heavier than the actual gimbal, and then the gimbal will turn off, and then you got recalibrated again. So let's just turn this baby on again. Press and hold. The gimbal will let you know that it's on. So now it's not showing the error mode because the gimbal is actually calibrated along with the GoPro. So to put this mount on the gimbal, basically you have 2 ways that you can actually do it. You can actually do it this way, which we were doing it that way before, but then you could actually do it this way. So you can actually do it this way too. So you can do it 2 ways. You can do it this way, or you can do it that way. But if you do it this way, your GoPro will sit upside down or sideways. But you do it this way, like you mount it this way, you want to take this and slide it backwards, right? So now you have leeway to go front and back, but you could go only back but so much before it actually locks. But we want to lock this in the middle, close that. GoPro is actually sitting the right way. So basically, this is like I was showing you the button. So if I go down, the GoPro will look down. If I go up, the GoPro will look up. If I go to the side, which it was going to the side because it wants to go to the left side, it goes from right to left. So on the front, automatically, once it actually turns on, automatically you're going to see the pan follow, which is PF that they have. So if you hit the mode button again, you're going to see PTF. So PTF means pan, tilt, follow mode. So basically this gimbal is programmed to follow you. That's why you actually have the tracking camera at the front, which we're going to actually get more into that. You press it again, and then you see an L button, which is all lock mode. So basically it'll actually lock your gimbal in place. So when you're recording something outside or inside, then basically it'll lock your gimbal in place. So therefore, you got another mode, which is POV, and it's all follow mode. So all follow mode, it'll follow every little object that you program it to do on the front of your screen. If you wanted to follow something, it will actually follow. So we're gonna go back, and it's gonna go automatically back once we press mode again to pan follow mode. You got the light with the tracking, so it tracks you. So if you want to sit the gimbal down like this and then you want it to track you while you're moving and talking, or doing a video outside or inside, it'll actually track you. Now we got this baby off, so we're gonna actually click this button on the top, and you're gonna actually see a red light that actually comes on, and it actually flashes to let you know, hey, I'm on, so we ready to rock and roll. So on the side, just like I told you, just press and hold, and then that light will actually come on. So if you press the dial up, it'll brighten up. So it's a really bright light right there. And then you press it down, and then it'll darken up the light. Okay, so this is the mount for the cell phone, like we took off earlier. So we can actually pull this to make it a little bit larger so that our cell phone can actually fit in there, right? So we're gonna actually put this back on the gimbal, and we're gonna actually have to calibrate this. But first, we wanna put our cell phone on there so that it'll make it a little bit easier. So you always wanna put your cell phone with the camera up like that so that your video is not upside down. But the camera's supposed to be looking like this. If you want to tilt it like this, you can actually turn this. Basically, your camera will actually record this way. Or if you, like me, you want to turn it back and then record this way like I do, because it gives you full video. So let's just mount this and calibrate this at the same time and see if the gimbal actually show us an error mode or not. So what we want to do, we want to slide this part in. We want to slide it backwards like that, and then we want to lock that. Make sure it's locked so that your cell phone actually sits there. So now you see that is not even calibrated at all. What we want to do, we want to go back to the calibration, and we want to actually slide it. What I had it on before was like 1 or in between 0, so that it actually is calibrated correctly and is leveled with the weight from the gimbal and the cell phone, because the cell phone is a little bit heavy too. This is a iPhone 12 Pro Max. We're gonna press and hold that power button, still hits the back. So what happened is that the phone's supposed to be leveled with the back part. That's why it keeps on showing the error mode. That's a sign that basically the gimbal is going to be stuck in that position. It's not going to function the right way. It's because of the fact the back of the phone is supposed to be leveled with the back of the gimbal. So to fix that, it's simple. Just slide back, slide back. So we slid the phone back a little bit, and on the gimbal, it shows like a back part. So the gimbal is supposed to be leveled up with this part right here. And that means basically your phone and the gimbal has an opportunity to move up and down just in case. So we're gonna turn it on again, show this an error mode. Let's see. Bingo. Same functions you have with the GoPro, you have the same functions with the cell phone. So you can go like that. And then you could go to the right. And then you could go up and down. Thanks for watching, guys, and tune in for more from me, myself, Trav. I appreciate everybody watching my videos. Please like, comment, and also subscribe. Alrighty, deuces.